So I'm going to show you how to trade the best setups at the best prices. I'm going to walk you through step by step this unique gap trading price action strategy that we are consistently using to make money within the stock market, trading both ways, long and calls and then short and puts. I'm going to walk you through this. I'm going to show you how I was able to buy Walmart call options right here at 9:41 a.m. and make a 90% return on at the money call options. They weren't even out of the money. 90% return in 5 single minutes. I alerted this trade real time in terms of the best setups at the best prices. I alert all my trades real time within the Trader Society section of Will Alerts. And in terms of the profit, I got partially filled. I tried to buy 300 contracts. I did not get filled completely. I ended up getting filled with 100 contracts as it ended up spiking very, very quickly as a partially fill. And with that being said, I ended up making a $5,000 profit in about 4 minutes just by throwing in like $9,000 into these contracts. So I'm going to walk you through step by step how I was able to make it the 90% return. I'm going to walk you through in terms of the watch list that was posted in the pre-market, why I had stated at 9:16 a.m. The top play was Walmart call options. If we can go red to green and turn the previous closing price into support, which was 132.55. It's going to be a great entry for calls. And I love this setup, right? And then in terms of the alert, it was alerted right before the massive breakout at 9:41 a.m. I want to give a big shout out to the members in Trader Society. We got people who are consistently killing it. Shannon ended up trading and making more money than I did in terms of Walmart. Ended up making 132% return. Absolutely insane. So big shout out to them. With that being said, let's get into the strategy, right? For those of you who follow this channel, you were well aware it wasn't too long ago I was using a very similar gap trading strategy on Walmart puts, and I was consistently doing it, and I was consistently banking on those puts. For those of you who are subscribed to the channel, you're already well aware of that. So you can go back, watch the previous videos if you aren't already in terms of the short side of the strategy. But within this video, we're going to be talking about the long side because that's what I ended up doing today. So let's discuss Walmart. What did it recently do? Well, you could see right here, there was a lot of resistance. There was a lot of resistance at this 132.50, where these previous closing prices, where these white lines are, there's a lot of resistance towards this 132.50, 133 level. It recently had earnings and it had a massive gap up and it kept spiking and it went higher. It had a nice breakout all the way to 142.72. And I had a lot of people asking me. They were asking me, when should I buy puts? When should I buy calls? In terms of the put side, you already know we crushed it on the put side, buying as soon as it cracked this 138 for the gap breakdown to fill the gap below. We crushed that multiple times. And then in terms of the call side, I told people, you have to wait for the gap to fill. You have to wait for it to go back where it previously closed before the earnings released, which was right here at this white line, which was $132.60 right here. I'm going to draw a key trend line, right? And then I told people, you have to wait until it reacts as a support level. So basically the play was Walmart has a nice breakout, has a nice move to the upside. We wait for it to retrace back to the gap. And once it fills the gap, we wait for it to react as a support level. If it cracks, we set a price alert back to the gap. Once it reacts as support, once it turns this previous resistance into support, that is when we buy the calls. So I was looking at the 5-day chart, seeing this, right? And I was saying, okay, this is the key level. This is where that gap was, right? So once Walmart can start reacting as a strong support level towards this level, I'm going to look to buy calls. And I've been following it all this week. And today's the day where I decided to buy calls. And today's the day where it started to break out. And I'm going to show you how I was able to accurately do that. Because I could have bought calls right here when it started trying to react to support. I could have bought calls right here when it started trying to react to support. And it would have worked. It would have been a nice little scalp, a nice little win. It would have worked. But I'm going to show you in terms of the nice breakout how I was able to capture this and why today is the day where I decided to buy calls. It's called trend stacking. It's called pattern recognition. It's called confirming that history is going to repeat itself. So as stated in the watch list, I was using the gap close reversal strategy and I was waiting for it to react bullish. And I said, if we can go red to green, so Walmart had a gap down, it opened up red, it needs to go green. When it goes green, it could go red again. So I'm not going to buy calls right away. I'm going to wait for it to turn that previous closing price where it goes from red to green into a support level, which was 132.55, which was right towards that red line that I drew, which was that gap close reversal level on the daily. Also, it had a nice breakout and it came back down, which is very normal. And, if previous resistance reacts to support, if the gap fills and reacts to support, it's going to have a reversal and it's going to start to uptrend. And you can see there's a gap to fill above right here at 137.02, right? So let's go over this, right? In terms of my entry, why did I wait until 9:41 a.m.? Why did I decide to buy the calls right here at 9:41 a.m.? Basically 2 minutes before it had that massive breakout where calls went up 90%. I got the 133 call strike. It was basically at the money. It wasn't even like out of the money. And it went up like 100% almost in 5 minutes. Why did I decide to do that? So the play was gap close reversal on the daily chart. Previous resistance is reacting as support. Now, why did I decide to wait for the previous closing price to react as a support level? I'm going to show you here. I'm going to walk you through this. So this is the previous closing price. So in terms of Walmart, let's break this down here step by step for you. I just want to visually show you this. So in terms of Walmart, you can see right here, once it turns this previous closing price 132.55 into a support level, and I'm going to show you right here in terms of confirmation, it has a little breakout. It comes crashing back down. Right here, you have a nice pin. This is a nice bullish pin. Starts to break out, breaks out above the highs, and it's forming higher support with a nice bullish trend reversal candlestick right here. That is why it held previous closing price and it started to break out and it started to form higher support. See how these candlesticks are now bottoming at this previous high, at this previous resistance? That's very bullish, and that's where it should now continue. Now, I'm going to show you what I added on to make this a very confident and successful trade, because in terms of Walmart, this is an unexpected move. A lot of people weren't expecting such a nice breakout on this, especially when the SPY was choppy and selling off earlier in the morning. So this is what I call history repeating itself, pattern recognition, trend stacking. So I want you to understand, I trade the chart. That's how I trade. And I'm trying to put all the odds in my favor in terms of what I can see in the chart. So this is something that basically nobody saw this in terms of people trading Walmart. They didn't see this, and I'm going to show you what I saw, and this made me so confident in this trade for call options. This was it right here. So I'm well aware in terms of how this situation can play out. So what do we know in terms of the daily chart? We know it had a nice breakout. We know it had an overreaction. Stocks can easily go back to previous resistance. And if it's bullish, they turn that previous resistance back into support. They close the gap. They have a reversal. They start to shoot back up to fill the next gap above, right? But what was the secret? What did I add on to make this an even better play? I spotted a pattern in the daily chart using candlesticks. In this pattern, if history were to repeat itself, and the way I was able to confirm that history was going to repeat itself by using the daily, by understanding, okay, previous resistance turned into support, gap close reversal level turned into support, the previous closing price from yesterday turned into support, right? It's confirmation that history is going to repeat itself. Now you're probably wondering, Will, what is this history repeating itself? What is this pattern you're seeing where history can repeat itself? I showed you how to confirm it, but what is this pattern? This is the pattern. All I want you to do is, you don't need to know the name of these candlesticks. You just need to understand what they do. I'm going to draw some ovals, right? So look at this candlestick right here. This is the daily chart. Each one of these candlesticks represents 1 day's worth of price action, right? So look at this candle right here. Look at this candle right here. And then look at day 2. Look at day 2. Look at day 2. I know this is red. I know it's red here and it's green here, but do you see the similarities? Do you see the similarities, how they're basically matched up and they look the same? If you compare these two candlesticks right here to these two candlesticks, you can basically say they're nearly identical. So now I'm going to ask you a question. What happens on the third day if history repeats itself? You can see history is starting to repeat itself, right? And you could even see right here, there was a nice little green day right here. There was a nice little green day right here, continuation. If history repeats itself on the third day, we have a massive green candle. And would you look at that? We had a massive green candle today. And look at that. It even closed. You see how it lost a little bit gains? See how it lost a little bit gains from the highs? Do you see how history repeated itself to an exact T? That's what I saw. I saw this pattern where it has this red candle, where it has this trend reversal candlestick, where it has this red candle, where it has this trend reversal candlestick. And the next day, if it starts to turn that previous closing price, see how the previous closing price, this white line, was the low on this day, and see how the previous closing price on this white line was the low on this day. So I'm saying, if this can go red to green, if this can turn that previous closing price to support, history is going to repeat itself and Walmart's going to start to explode. It's going to start to break out. It's going to start to take off. It's going to start to push above this resistance, have a big green day, start to go up to fill the gap. There was a gap to fill at 137, right? So that was what made me so confident in this as well. By adding that pattern, that daily pattern, that cannot be found in other charts. Every chart has a different story, right? So I'm looking at the daily candles, I'm spotting patterns, and I'm looking for similarities. And I'm combining that with my gap close reversal strategy. That's what I'm doing. I call it trend stacking. I'm trying to stack all of the odds in my favor. It's pattern recognition, and it is solely based off of trading the chart. That's what it's solely based off of, right? So just to show you in terms of everything, Walmart had a nice breakout. There was a gap to fill. When the gap fills, it could have a gap close reversal and then rocket back up to fill the gap. I wait for it to react to support. Also, this was a strong previous resistance level. Well, it had a breakout. So previous resistance reacts to support. That's bullish. If it fills the gap and reacts to support, that's bullish. And then this pattern right here, this red candle, trend reversal candle, and then third day, massive upside. Red candle, trend reversal candle. Third day, massive upside, right? Previous closing price reacts to support on this day, which is the lows. Previous closing price reacts to support on this day, which is the lows. When I see all of the similarities, if you just look at these, here, I'll zoom out a little bit more just to show you. We can even call it 4 days. If you look at these 4 days, right? I'm going to draw an oval on all 4 of them. It's mainly a 3-day pattern, but we could say 4. If you just look at these 4 days and compare them, you can literally see it's identical. So if you're starting to see the similarities, wow, it's starting to turn previous closing price into support like it did right here. It's starting to align. That history starting to repeat itself. When you start to confirm that, you put your odds in the favor of history repeating itself, right? So when the strategy works, history repeats itself, and you have an idea of how big this can be. Look at the big payout, right? That's how we know the unexpected move in a sense. And then when it doesn't repeat itself, and it cracks below the previous closing price, we get stopped out. And if you wanted the best entry was at the previous closing price. Don't forget that. The best entry is always towards that previous closing price. Now, in terms of what I did, I ended up buying towards the high of day breakout when higher support formed. So the way I bought this, it was 45 cents higher than the previous closing price, not the biggest deal. And I bought a little bit higher because I traded more of a confirmation. That is the reason why. I wanted more of a confirmation. I wanted a strong bullish confirmation. So that's another question you have to ask yourself. Do you want a strong bullish confirmation, or do you want a better entry with a tight stop where you're going to lose a lot more? In terms of my trading style, I've really thought about this. It depends on the trade. It depends on the situation. One thing I do value a lot is certainty. I value certainty, where I'm certain that the confirmation is there. It's going to work. It's 100% full confidence. That's where I want my size. Now, if I'm bullish in advance and I want to try a starting position and I understand, it's not the best confirmation, I'm not as certain, I'm not as confident, but it's a great entry. And if it works out, it's going to be so much better. The calls were 70 cents here. I bought them at 90 cents. So obviously it's a huge difference between getting in at 70 cents and 90 cents percentage-wise. It's a huge difference, right? So you have to ask yourself, I would say if it's a huge difference on the contracts, then I would go with less of a confirmation. If it's a massive difference. I mean, that's 70 cents versus 90 cents on the contracts. That's a massive difference. So yeah, that's something you have to think about as well as a trader. But in terms of where my position size is and where I put my capital, my conviction becomes very, very strong when I get that confirmation. And sometimes using confirmations, you're not going to get 100% the best entry. Like we could get a very nice bullish confirmation here, and then I could say, all right, if it drops back down, then I'll buy the calls, but then I might miss out. So these are just things you have to think about. I just want to bring awareness to that. But you want to find a good balance, and you just always want to get your entry as close as possible to that previous closing price. But you could just see right here, man. It held previous closing price. It went from red to green. It had a breakout, came back down, formed higher support, formed bullish pins, started to break out, higher support, confirmation to buy calls. It is just unbelievable what you can do with the power of options trading if you know how to minimize your risk and use options properly. If you don't know how to use options properly, they're going to be your worst nightmare. But if you know how to use them properly, it's a lot better than trading the stocks. It's absolutely insane, man. Just look at this. Let's go to 9:41 a.m. Just look at this. 9:41 a.m. right here. Calls were literally at 90 cents at 9:41 a.m. They shot up to $1.80 in like 7 minutes. In 7 minutes. It's just absolutely, and they went even higher later on throughout the day. But just look at the big pullback it had, right? I sold before that big pullback. My exit was perfect on this, along with my entry was near perfect. The timing on the entry was perfect. It wasn't 100% the best entry, but I want a better confirmation. But yeah, the exit was perfect. Sold at 9:46 a.m. and then I sold the rest at 9:48 a.m. Literally within 5 minutes, a 90% return. It's insane, man. That's like having, if you had 100 contracts like I had in this situation, where you put in like 9 grand, that's like having, it's just unreal. That's like having 1,000 shares of Walmart. It's just crazy, man. Excuse me, not 1,000 shares. That's like having 10,000 shares of Walmart. It's unreal. If you have 100 contracts on an option, that's like having 10,000 shares on Walmart. Walmart spiked in $1, the contracts go up 90%. Boom, $9,000 profit like that, right? It's just crazy. So I wanted to go over that very important lesson. For those of you who stayed to the end, let's get into the plan. We're going to discuss tomorrow's game plan. So just so you guys know, in terms of certain game plans, especially with the SPY, there's very important updates in the pre-market, and things are always getting updated, right? So just be aware of that. But in terms of what I can give you in advance, I'm always going to give you what I can give you in advance, and then I'll prepare you for the market open for those of you within Trader Society, and we'll be trading live. But this is what I want you to understand about the SPY. For SPY to go bearish tomorrow, it has to go under 95.18. If you see this 95.18 crack turn into resistance, I'm very bearish on SPY if that happens tomorrow. Now, if we can stay above 95.18, react to support, form higher support, it's going to be bullish and it's going to have a nice run. So that's my overall thoughts. Now, what are my thoughts in terms of the daily chart and how are we looking? SPY filled a gap, and I told people, if you watch my videos, this 390.89 was the best level to buy calls. That's literally where it bottomed out today. And I did trade calls certain points in the day, and I did make money on those calls. But with that being said, in terms of the SPY, it had a nice gap close reversal. It filled the gap. Once it filled the gap right here at key support with big upside towards that previous resistance, it had a nice reversal. And in terms of how does SPY react when it's at a key support level, at a key gap fill level, how does it react when there's gaps to fill above with this bullish candlestick? Well, I mean, if you were to study the past on how it reacts when it forms this candlestick specifically at support, I would tell you for the most part, it tends to continue to go up. It tends to kind of bottom out. But I am seeing other patterns within the chart where we could see a short-term pullback, but the overall direction as of now looks to be up. It looks to be an overall bullish trend, speaking for late September. As of now, that's as of now. That can change, obviously, if it cracks 390 and that turns into resistance. But as of now, what I'm basically saying is if 395 cracks, we're going to see that short-term downside move on the SPY. If it holds and 395 maintains the support level, then SPY is going to start to reverse. And the next level that I would retrace back up towards is going to be this $400 level. That'd be the next level, $400 on SPY. So heading into tomorrow, my key levels are going to be right here, $395.18 and $396.42. If 396.42 reacts as a resistance, it goes back to 395. If 395 cracks, then it takes a big hit tomorrow. And I mean a big hit tomorrow if it cracks that 395. Now, if it holds 395 and if it breaks above 390.42, we will be on track to go to about $400 tomorrow. So that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm focused on. That's what I'm looking at. I do want to say this, man, for those of you who watch my video on snow, we had people kill it on snow. I began DMs on snow within the chat room, man. I literally told people buy the puts on snow when it cracks 185. The same strategy that we used on Walmart, man. I'm telling you, man, all these people are sleeping, man. You guys, I haven't been posting a lot of videos lately. I'm just so dialed into trading. It's like I'm at the point where I just don't have to post a video. I don't have, like, I've been comparing in terms of revenue, like what I'm making from trading, what I'm making from the YouTube videos. It's just the difference is so big. It's literally just like for fun, for passion at this point. But I like what I do and I'm going to continue to do what I do. But it's getting to a point where if I just don't feel like it, if I don't want to, like I just don't have to. Like I'm just not in that situation. But I do want to push and I do really want to give it my all. But in terms of what I can say, Trader Society, those are the ones who really get the most and get my all. Like if I'm not posting a video, that doesn't mean I'm having a red day or losing money or not trading with Trader Society. Like I'm in my group. I'm in my group. I'm in the SPY floor. Um, I'm in the chat room and I'm delivering. I'm sharing with them my plays. I'm alerting my trades real time and I'm answering their questions. They have any questions, any stock plays, anything, I will be there in that situation. But this social media, it's just like this just isn't, it's just not paying out. But like I said, I love what I do, so I'm gonna continue to do it. Um, and there's sometimes I really push hard, and then there's other times where I just really am more focused on other areas. Like it gets to a point in terms of money where you want to focus on balance. There's so much more to life than wealth, like love, happiness, health, stuff like that. And I'm definitely getting to that point where I do want more of a balance to focus on other things. But like I said, I'm going to continue to go hard. I just want you guys to understand that though, in terms of me not posting. But in terms of snow, this was just like Walmart. Look at this, man. As soon as Walmart cracks below this, it has a gap breakdown. It starts to fill the gap below. And then same thing with snow. As soon as, and if you look at the charts, I mean, we're talking like identical, guys. Like this was identical, man. And it's not, I don't have to sit here and alert these. I gave you guys the plan. I don't have to trade this. I don't have to, I'm giving you guys the plan. I'm teaching you the strategy. I want you guys to be self-sufficient and use it on your own. You could trade your own plays. I'll give you the plans, but man, if you just look at this, we're talking identical. Like this is just insane, man. We're literally talking, look at the charts. Like how more identical can you, it's just so when we crack this level, when it gaps up, we went over this in so many videos, it's called a gap breakdown. When we crack this level, when a stock gaps up and we go below and react as a resistance level, it sells off hard. It cracks right here, go below, reacts as a resistance level, sells off hard, fills the gap, fills the gap. So this is the number one play that I'm seeing. And then I'm going to do a lot more research in terms of tonight and then also in the morning for new upcoming plays. But as of now, for those of you who stay to the end of this video, this is the best play that I'm seeing at the moment. Amazon calls. Call options on Amazon is the best play that I'm seeing right now. What I'm seeing on Amazon is it nearly filled the gap. What I dislike about the setup is it hasn't filled the gap. That's what I dislike about it. The best price would be 122.28. But what I like about the setup is, Amazon is a little oversold for the micro, for the short term, just like the SPY. And we are towards previous resistance, key support. It's now reacting as support, which was previous resistance, now react to support with the big breakout. So same setup as SPY. It's just in terms of the feel and the look, I'm really liking Amazon. I'm really liking this, man. Whenever Amazon forms this candlestick on the daily at oversold support, it tends to go up. It does tend to go up. But you could see right here, it formed like the same candlestick right here towards support. Next day it gapped down and got crushed. So like I said, if the SPY gaps down tomorrow, or if the SPY cracks 395, it will be bearish no matter how bullish this daily candle looks. So it's going to be really based off of the pre-market and the first 30 minutes of market open. That's really going to set the tone and set the trend. Things look bullish now, but like I said, if SPY goes under 395 or if we gap down, it's going to be looking pretty bearish overall. So don't get faked out. I'm not getting faked out. I know how things can look bullish, but I also know how things can look very, very bearish. So I'm just waiting for my confirmation. That's another thing that I want you guys to understand. Like in terms of these videos, I mean, this is just like, in terms of these videos, like I told you, people were asking me about Walmart calls. Best price for Walmart calls was at this 132.50, but you could see it went lower. And on these 2 days, it could have worked or it couldn't have worked out, depending on if you traded properly and did the right thing. It's confirmation. That's what you have to understand. I could sit here and make a video showing you how to trade the best setups, the best prices. But if you're not using the confirmations that I'm using, you're just trading purely based off of price and you're going to lose and you're not going to have that confidence. Like I showed you all of the ways that I identified how Walmart was bullish today. And like in terms of like the videos that I posted, giving you guys like the key levels and stuff like that, it's like I'm pointing you in the right direction overall. But if you don't have that confirmation, the full strategy and that certainty and that guidance, it's just not going to be as good. The results are just not going to be as good. And that's just the reality. So I'm going to try my best to continue to make the videos better and to continue to post updates. But like I said, in terms of those real-time updates and in terms of those confirmations and that extra guidance and the full education, it is all within Trader Society. It is all within Trader Society. So I just want to bring awareness to that as well. This is more than prices. These are specific bullish confirmations, trends that are in development. Like in terms of, I said, Walmart calls at 132.50. This trend right here, this pattern that I used today, that wasn't there. That developed on September 30th. People were asking me about calls at the top. I told them wait till 132.50. But this pattern that I saw was not there in advance. That's what I'm saying. Trends and patterns can occur at any time. And when I see those opportunities and I see those patterns and I see those trends at those key levels, those are my confirmations to really get in on these trades. And that's just something that these videos beforehand are just not going to be able to show you unless I posted like 100% real time and just these constant updates. But like I said, the real time analysis, the constant updates, it's all within Trader Society. And if you truly want to learn how to trade these best steps at those prices, then that would be the best place for you to be. But yeah, I had a lot of people asking me questions about this Walmart trade because they were really trying to figure out like how I was able to predict this unexpected move. If you can get a nice unexpected move to the upside on calls or downside on puts, you can print on options crazy, especially if it's like a next day expiration or a 2-day expiration. Same day expirations can be extremely tough, especially for beginners. But yeah, that's it, guys. So that was the strategy, that was the play. And then in SPY, in terms of tomorrow, like I said, if we gap down, 396.42 reacts as a resistance, super bearish, best price for puts. If we gap down, if we gap up, not really interested in doing anything until we go to 396.42. If that reacts as support, then it's bullish. If it reacts as a resistance, then it's bearish. For SPY to go fully bearish tomorrow, I believe it has to crack 395 and turn it into resistance, and then it can go super bearish. If SPY gaps up tomorrow, for it to maintain bullish, it needs to do a good job of holding 396.42. If not, it needs to hold 395. If it cannot hold that, then it's a bloodbath. In terms of for bulls to show true strength tomorrow, say it gaps up, they need to turn 396.42 into support for true strength. If not, then that's signs of weakness, but they still have a chance if 395 holds and does not crack. That's my thoughts. That's my analysis. The way the daily chart looks, it does look bullish, but I'm seeing other patterns and other trends where it can sell off for the micro, but go up for the macro. Macro speaking in terms of September in a couple weeks, which is not fully confirmed. But if I had to pick a side and where is SPY going to be end of September, as of now, I would be more bullish than bearish. But I have no current swing trades. I'm waiting for the right confirmations. I'm waiting for the certainty, right? The certainty. This is in development. That Walmart trade, that idea on calls was in development. I was thinking Walmart calls when we were right here in the 140s. I was thinking Walmart calls at 132.50, but it's more than that. You have to use the strategy. You have to use the confirmations. It has to react bullish. I don't care if it's at the best level to buy. I don't care if it's the best level to sell. If it does not react the way I want it to, if it does not form the confirmation that I'm looking for, then I will not take the trade. I will sit here, reset the price alert, and then I will wait. I will wait for a pattern to develop, like this pattern was in development, right? I will be super patient. I could have bought Walmart calls here, here, or here. I chose today, the day it had the nice breakout. And like I said, I was able to do that because of this 4-day pattern. That is the reason why. And also the previous closing price reacted as strong support today. So that's my thoughts. That's my analysis. I'm telling you, we are going to absolutely crush it tomorrow. Every single day has been a green day this week. The green streak is on fire. The portfolio is booming. It's just insane, man, in terms of like the level you can get in terms of trading in such a short period of time, compounding an options account, consistently winning, cutting losers quick, understanding risk management, position sizing, minimizing your risk, not going all in and taking big losses, right? It's crazy how fast options can change your life with the right strategy, with the right discipline, with consistency, with smart decisions, smart strategic decisions. And in terms of those smart strategic decisions, like I said, I'm going to be posting them all in the Will Alert section. And then in terms of the money-making scalping floor, that's the SPY room. There's nothing like this floor. SPY, SPX. There's a lot of great scalps in here. There's a lot of great guidance, a lot of great people in here. There's also lottery plays and, more riskier plays in here as well. But I'm telling you, that's a money-making floor too if you know how to use it. I've been solely trading SPY just for the past year, and then I trade the best setup to the best prices. Those are with stocks and the SPY as well. Those are like 2 to 3 trades a week. Those are like game-changing plays. And then in terms of the SPY, I've been dedicating just the past year to mainly just trade the SPY, and it's been going phenomenal. And I see my growth, not just on the put side, but on the call side. My call side has been growing insanely. And I'm telling you, it takes time. It takes a lot of time to get that flow state, to get that feel, to get that zone, to get that strategy, to get that price action, to get the movement. But once you start to get it, you really start to improve very, very quickly. And it's just, we're living in such a great time, a great opportunity. I mean, you can literally use Webull, trade options in real time, and practice trading for free, paper trade to get some practice in. And you'll see there's no difference. When you go from paper trading to live trading, if you're using Webull, you'll see there's absolutely no difference. The data is 100% real time. Obviously, the difference is, real money and emotions. But it's like, if you were to just think of it as like, man, if I just start practicing this strategy on Webull, and then I'm not going to be emotional, but if I were to take this seriously as if it were a live account, which you can do, you can set the account size to whatever amount you want. Students have told me. And if you were to just treat this as something like, okay, I'm going to use this as a tool to practice the strategy. Once I can consistently prove I can grow this paper account, then I'm going to switch to live account. You make that switch, you'll start to realize you trained yourself to have no emotions because you were paper trading. So now that you're going live, you shouldn't have emotions because you just trained yourself to have no emotions in the first place. But you have to take it seriously and you have to act as if it was a real account. That doesn't mean that you don't have to. I'm telling you, like, when I'm making thousands of dollars, like when I'm trading, like killing it, I don't look at my P&L. I don't even think, like, to me, this doesn't even feel like real money. It is real money, but like it doesn't feel like I'm not even think of it as money. I work in percentiles. That's how I work it. I'm always focused on percentage. Everybody focuses on dollar amount. I don't even look at my P&L. I focus on the percentile. I'm trying to literally make, like, in terms of my trades, like trying to get like a 2% return and risk like 0.7% or something like that. Or you can do like you're trying to aim for a 1% return and risk like 0.30 to 0.50% of your account, right? Like a 1 to 2 or a 1 to 3. I try to keep mine at a 1 to 3 risk to return ratio. It depends on the setup, man. If you get an amazing setup, then the risk to return ratio is going to be unbelievable for you. But if you're just trading a basic setup, not at the best price, nothing special, then your risk to return ratio is going to be nothing special. But in terms of best setups at best prices, those are the ones that can give you a risk to return ratio above a 3. But I'm telling you, man, this options world, it's just beginning. Now's the time to get in on this. If you guys do want to take advantage and join Trader Society, it's a one-time fee. It's a lifetime access. You can get started with your education. All the details are included down below. You get access to the video lesson library. That's where you learn all my unique gap trading price action strategies that I've developed over the past decade. You also get access to the Discord server, the networking opportunities within the Discord server. You can add us as a friend, contact us via one-on-one direct message. Also, the live trading streams at Market Open. Within the Discord, you get access to my real-time trailer, to my real-time analysis, my real-time watch list, the live trading streams with the voice commentary. There's so much to this group. And if you want to be a part of something special where we're dedicated to trading these unique gap trading strategies, best sets to the best prices, then this would be the right group for you. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it off at that. It's the first link down below in the description. And like I said, Fridays are known for being my best trading days. So we're gonna absolutely crush it tomorrow. With that being said, I'm signing off and I'm gonna continue to be prepared for the market.